Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. And today I'm going to talk about why cutting ties from any relationship is considered something very cruel. Instead, cutting ties is not a cruelty or a cruel act. It's absolutely okay to cut ties. So now let us understand. See, we all have a lot of relationships, and any relationship that doesn't improvise you or doesn't help you or doesn't improve you or doesn't make you feel good, I mean, you're free to cut ties from that relationship. I mean, from marriage, from family, from parent, from friendship. I mean, we cut ties. We cut ties from relationship that is not, serving us, or that is not helping us, by having a dead relationship and living by a dead relationship, it's always better to cut ties with a toxic relationship, a toxic dead relationship, and keep moving on. So now let us understand it in this way. Cutting ties is basically, in a toxic relationship, cutting ties is taking charge of your life back and reinforcing healthy boundaries around you. So if you see divorce also, there is some problem and people are not okay together and they go for separation, divorce or whatsoever. So what are they doing? They are taking charge of their life back, and they are enforcing a boundary. That's it. And they are getting over with that relationship. So this is what cutting ties is. So cutting ties is not a very demonic thing or an evil thing that people often narrate and push this idea that cutting ties means it's a very cruel thing. You are not supposed to cut ties in relationships. But if relationship is not good, if relationship is toxic, if the relationship is draining you from inside, if the relationship is all about abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, I mean, what purpose is that relationship serving you? One should ask this question. I do ask questions that what is happening with this relationship, how it is helping me, or in what ways it is contributing towards my life or towards the betterment of my life. And I ask these questions, and when I get all negative answers, I mean, I review it. And when I review it, I then stop thinking about such relationships. So cutting ties doesn't mean that you are doing something in return, or you are inflicting some harm or injury to the other person. No, it's just that you are stopping the contact. You are creating a healthy boundary because it's no more making sense to you, or it's no more making you feel good. So that is what cutting ties is. It's not an act of cruelty. We are doing far more cruel things. Society is doing far more cruel things. I think emotional abuse, relationship abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, I think these are far more cruel things than cutting ties from a toxic person. And this toxic person can be anyone. For example, my child grows up into being an addict, a person who is into substance abuse, a person who is very antisocial, disorder that person is suffering from, my child is suffering from. So I would first approach my child, and I would try and educate them to seek guidance, seek help. And if they go on doing what they are doing, what am I supposed to do? Can I keep on trying to rescue them and keep rescuing them from facing consequences of what they are doing? No, I can't, because they wouldn't have realization, they wouldn't understand anything. After one point, I would let it go. Even if it is my child, I would let go of my child, because the child is not understanding. The child has to do his or her own self discovery. The child has to manage his things himself. I can't go on doing the same thing again and again and again. And instead, this relationship is causing more trauma and stress and worry because I am scared what he would do next, what wreck and chaos he's going to unleash next in and around the vicinity, or in and around relationships, or in society. So definitely that relationship, I mean the relationship of a mother and a child definitely doesn't evaporate. It would be there. I would be a mother to my child, and my child would be a child to me. Yeah, we would have that biological link. But the thing is that I can only do things to a certain limit. Beyond that, I don't think I can do anything for him or her. Rest he or she has to manage. So what would I do? I would definitely cut ties. Why would I want myself to be blamed? Why would I want myself to be dragged in his evil doings, in his crazy stuff that he does and suffers? Once, twice, thrice I can be there, educate him, try and help him, but can I keep on doing it for eternity? No, I can't. And that is the time when I have to take a decision and cut ties. The same thing is with my husband. If he's constantly manipulating, if he's being toxic, if he's harassing, if he's abusing, and if my in-laws are harassing and forcing and abusing, what would I do? I would look for separation, divorce, or I would cut ties. If my in-laws are bad, I would cut ties if they are toxic. So cutting ties from toxicity and toxic relationship is not a cruel act, because our system in our society, there is so much of issues of codependency, and this a couple of people have this parasitic nature where they just want to cling on to things. They just want to be a freeloader. They want to cling on to things and want to go on. They feel entitled that I want it, I need to have it, I want it, I deserve it. And if you will cut ties with me, that means you are a bad person. They will foul mouth about you. They will abuse you. They will try and manipulate you, and they will do what not, because you're cutting ties, and they won't be able to use you as a host. So what is wrong in that? What is wrong in cutting ties? So cutting ties is nothing cruel. Instead, manipulation, abuse, harassment, torture, trauma, these things are far more cruel, I believe. So cutting ties from a toxic person is absolutely okay. One should not hesitate. One should definitely prioritize him or her more before anyone else, because only if you have compassion towards yourself, if you know your true worth, if you know your true self, definitely you wouldn't allow any nonsense in your life, and you wouldn't entertain any nonsense in your life. And the same thing goes for any relationship that is out there for you. Yeah. So those, now let me tell you who will object. Who will object? Those who have selfish interest, those who have a lot of expectations, those who are seeing you as a host will always label cutting off ties as something very evil, something very cruel, bad. It should not be. No, but cutting ties is absolutely formal. Why would you get yourself drained? Why would you get yourself financially drained, emotionally drained, mentally drained, physically drained? I mean, why would you do that? So yes, only those people oppose who see you as host, and who see a very good fat host walking away from the exploitation and the exploitation model. They are the ones who are going to oppose and say, oh no, you're cutting ties, this is absolutely bad, how bad is this, how can you do this? No, it's everyone's life. We all need to know how to manage things in our life. We can't keep on expecting someone else to keep on doing it and keep on taking our tantrums, our issues, complications. We all should be self-sufficient. And we all should exercise the ability of cutting ties from toxic relationship. No one should force us, and if somebody forces a relationship and wants to keep it and brings in morality, religion, and how it goes around, religion, morality, social ethics, cultural ethos, and they have got a lot of things to back up, to mask their parasitic nature. They have a lot of things. Oh no, this is how it is from ancient time. Oh no, this is how it is. I mean, toxic parents are toxic. What would a daughter do to a toxic father, an abuser, a substance abuser, a physical abuser, an emotional abuser? What would she do? I mean, like, how do you think she should handle this? She should cut her ties and move on. Does that erase the relationship, the genetic similarity, the similarity between the DNA and the lineage? Does that erase that? No. Cutting ties is creating a boundary that this person is toxic and I don't feel good, in the presence of this person, and that's it. So the relationship doesn't changes. Ex-husband remains an ex-husband, daughter remains a daughter, son remains a son, mother remains mother, father remains father, but they can become toxic. And cutting ties is not erasing the relationship. The relationship still stays there, but you choose to be silent and you choose to be a little distant. Yeah, so that is what cutting ties is, to avoid, to create a healthy barrier that helps you be whoever you want to be, that doesn't drain you mentally, emotionally and psychologically. So cutting ties is definitely not bad. I mean, we all should cut ties from toxic people and any kind of toxicity, and in the end, it's one life. We can't have 10,000 toxic people using us as a host, and we are just drained emotionally, and then we have no one who we can depend upon or who we can bank on some emotional support. We just keep getting drained. So rather than constantly being drained, it's better to cut ties from toxic people, toxicity, anything and everything that doesn't make you feel good, that doesn't give you peace of mind, that doesn't help you excel and become a better version of you. I think it's toxic and it's draining you, and it's using you as a host. So there's no harm in cutting ties from toxic relationships. So yes, this video was all about cutting ties is not an act of cruelty. It's not an act of cruelty. And yes, do write in your thoughts, comment below, and please like, share, subscribe this channel, and lots of love and blessings to all of you. And please take care of yourself and stay away from toxicity, or else create a healthy boundary. That helps. That's the easiest and the simplest thing you can do, is try and start creating boundaries around you, and you'll feel more safe, you'll feel more sane. Yes. So please take care of yourself. I'll see you again. Bye.